Hello, and welcome back to the Who Herald.
No.
No?
No.
What do you mean no?
What do you mean no?
No.
No more?
No.
No more?
No.
No more?
No.
I'm doing the thing.
I know. Are you trying to think
No
what the
more?
other phrase was though? No more. The
No more.
Time war, no more.
No
What?
more. Time war, no more.
Time war, no
Time
more.
war, no more.
No,
No more.
Gallifrey Falls, no more. But
That's it. That's it.
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
You're copying
You're
me.
copying me.
No, you are
You're
copying
copying me.
No, you're
No,
copying
you're copying me.
Wait a second.
Wait a second.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We both said that at the same time.
Best friends.
Best friend. We're trying to do the mid. Spoilers. I don't know. So I feel like we just skipped the whole spoiler warning. Hello. Hi everybody. Welcome to our episode. I'm scared. I was going to continue that for a second. Welcome to our third episode in our Doctor Who Watch Along podcast, which is it a Watch Along podcast?
I don't.
Because we're not
know.
watching it. Is it what counts as a watch? No, it is a watch
It
along.
is a watch along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is us with a Who Held. We're a small channel hoping to grow.
Like a little guy.
What's a little guy called?
Flom.
Flom. I'm gonna gobble a little flom. Oh, and there goes flom. Oh, sorry.
And there goes Plum.
Hello there. My name is Leo.
Back.
We're back. Sorry, Louis. Not Louis. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello. My name is Louis.
That's it, Louis. Louis just fixed some stuff with our recording system at the moment. But thank you so much for tuning in.
You're
we
welcome.
are reviewing. We are reviewing the Doctor Who episode 3 of season 2 / series 15. The Well. The Well. Well.
What do we have here?
What do we have here? We got another one of them Doctor Who eps. And yeah, we're reviewing it. This is our first this is like our fourth video on this channel, isn't it?
Yes.
We're a new ass channel. And let me tell you something. It is sorry, I promise you we're not being this chaotic for the entire review. We're selling.
We're recording this one late at night.
It's late at night because of time schedule issues, and we're probably releasing this a bit later than the episode aired. But thank you for listening in. If you are listening in, because I mean, you must be wanting to continue that ride of that high of this episode. Well, we'll see how we feel. But basically, yeah, we're reviewing The Well.
The Well.
This is were you excited for this episode of Doctor Who?
Yeah, I was excited because you told me the speculated themes of this episode.
Yeah.
Which, like, yes, it did make me like know the twist, I guess, but like I was still hyped as hell.
Yeah.
For this, I'd say because this is technically our like non-spoiler section.
Yeah. Well. Yes.
You've seen the episode.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the listeners have seen the episode.
I hope so, because I
Yeah.
hope our beginning part
Little
didn't
gaff.
do anything. But yeah.
I honestly do believe that it did make me feel nostalgic for old Who of like the horror that we've been missing in like more recent seasons of Doctor Who. Because this one felt like bringing back that like horror blink energy, like that like feels like a one-off monster, and like it feels like it's like, I don't know, just the energy and the vibe and the tone and the directing just really felt like I'm watching like back to basics Doctor Who.
I saw a lot of people review this episode going, finally, we're back to Doctor Who. And I feel mixed about that sentiment. I'll get into it.
I do too. I'm not saying that seasons
No,
don't
like,
have to have change.
don't get me wrong, it's valid. It's a valid thing. Because
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, it does feel like Doctor Who, 100%.
Yeah. It's obviously different.
But it's like, I feel mixed about the sentiment going like, okay,
Yeah.
we can't always expect it to be the same show. But
Yeah.
that being said, no, but I get you. It feels like a dark
It just felt like a solid story.
Because this was something that like even before the speculative twists of what maybe it was leaked. I don't know how it came about having these theories, but like this episode was meant to be the scary episode of the season. Like RTD was saying, episode 3, scary one. Hold on to your seats. One of the scariest stuff that we've done in the show at the moment. And I think that already warranted a lot of people being excited for this episode. It was like, oh, we're gonna get a scary episode. The well, it was very hidden what the monster's gonna be or what's gonna be there. So I think a lot of anticipation was gonna happen either way because we don't really know what it's gonna be about, but we know it's gonna be really scary. So yeah, I think a lot of hype. Even if I didn't know the twist, I would still be hyped for this episode.
Yeah. Because I was like feeling like a lot of anticipation.
Yeah, and I think
even this whole
thing. With this episode, it's like an episode where, I mean,
the Doctor accidentally ends up in this situation. And it feels like one of those like episodes where like he just lands and it's like, oh yes, I'm here. Of course, what's happening? I know what's happening, and then he kind of just has to go with it, and then creepy stuff is happening, and he's like, oh
yeah,
and then and then he like gets captivated to stay.
No, and I think. Yeah, anyway, but like the twists were like, I didn't know which one was real, so that even had me excited of like, what's it going to be? But yeah, I guess I'm going to maybe wrap up my, actually we go into like our overall thoughts. I really liked this episode. Great episode, really good episode. I feel like episode 3 of each of the new era is like, to me, like the best episode. Boom was episode 3, and that was my favorite episode of that season. So I feel like there's a pattern so far where it's like episode 1 is like an okay
episode.
It's like an opening. Don't expect too much. Episode 2 is we're gonna have a god in this one.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be silly. It's the fun, silly one.
And
episode 3 is like
intense,
it's the nostalgia, intense episode. And then I guess episode 4 is 73 yards. It's a Ruby episode. So this new one's gonna be Lucky Days, a Ruby episode. Yeah, there's a full-on pattern going on here. What's episode 5? I think it's the one that's in Nigeria. What was episode 5?
I don't know.
Well, the new one, I think the new one's going to be in Nigeria, I think, for episode 5. And what was episode 5 last time? Was that Dot and Bubble?
Yeah.
So maybe there might be something about racism as episode 5. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I can see a pattern, but I don't mind the pattern.
I don't mind a pattern.
But anyway, but if this is the pattern, then interesting stuff's going to happen, I guess, in the next few episodes. But we're getting too ahead of myself. I'm getting too ahead of myself right here. But yeah, you liked it? Yeah,
yes,
you liked it a
great
lot.
time.
Yeah, cool. Well, in that case, do you want to get straight into the review then?
Yes.
Okay, so this is spoilers now. This is full-on spoilers on what we think about this episode. So you have been warned if we didn't already spoil at the start. We always start off with our positives. Louis, should I start off or should you go? Should I start? Okay. I'm looking through here. I don't know which one I should use as my starting one. I love the stakes of this episode. I think this episode has real stakes. I really felt in this episode that because people legit die. It's not like a thing where same thing with episode 1. Maybe this isn't a super great positive, but I love the stakes of the episode. It felt like there was a big threat that for that I don't know if we should get into the threat yet. We're going into the threat yet, but I felt very like engaged in this episode. I wanted to know what the thing that turned everybody into what is, and I felt like I wanted, it
felt very much
Allison.
like
Is it Allison or Alice?
Alice, like Alice.
Alice. Molasses.
Yeah.
Alice. I'm gonna say Alice just for now, even though I know that's probably not it. She was someone that I wanted to survive. Yeah. It was a thing where like
I was scared
there were stakes
of her,
going on,
but like I was scared of her, but I wanted her to get out. I was kind of like in the between of like I don't trust her, but I kind of I trust her. Like I don't know, I felt the tension of like I don't know where this character's gonna go.
Yeah,
and that felt very nice.
But it was an episode where I was like, oh, I'm heavily maybe the new positive. I should change the way I say it, heavily engaged throughout. There was not one moment in this episode where I dropped my engagement.
No.
And I can't say the same thing for the other 2 episodes. But this episode, I was like fully engaged. The stakes were high for me. I cared about the stakes.
I felt real tension.
Yeah.
Like I was genuinely going like, I have no idea where this is going.
Yeah. And I guess on that, do you think it was creepy? I think it was a creepy episode.
Yeah, it was a creepy episode. I think it actually expands on a lot of good Doctor Who what it's good at in scares, because Doctor Who is not actually a scary show. It's got scary stuff in it, but it kind of goes towards the more creepy and not the actual like horror movie. It feels very much like it's a creepy, unsettling alien stuff, because a lot of the aliens are more like goofy little goblin guys. But sometimes you're like, no, there's gonna be a monster that like is threatening, like in the Satan's pit, that kind of just like whispers behind you and takes you over. Like that's like, which they have a Satan pit cameo in this episode with the it's one of the spacesuits is the Satan pit
Right.
spacesuits.
I didn't see the orange. Is the orange
Yeah,
suit?
orange suit is
I
there.
didn't see it.
Yeah, Alice just wears it.
Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. I think it was real creepy. I mean, obviously, we're both horror fans because we have another channel called The Horror Hour. Check it out. That I guess. It wasn't the scariest thing ever, but it was still had me tense. And there were moments where I was like, "Oh, you could do it more. You could do more scared. You get me. It's not going to actually get me scared."
Yeah.
But I think they did the best they could as still being a family show.
Yeah.
So I think it was tense, and I think it was good on that. So do you want to move on to a positive?
My other positive was the music. I think the music was like really well done, especially because I was watching it with my partner who showed up halfway through. It was just like, hey, do you just want to watch it? Because I was watching it right behind us, and I was like, you just want to watch the rest? And then she kept pointing out like motifs of like of stuff, and like she kept going, oh, that's the music, and like little like music cues that like really helped build the tension of this episode. So I think this really felt like horror always needs good music. And if it doesn't, it kind of takes away from the vibe of the horror. So I think this one just had really good music.
Yeah. Well, I want to just mention this. I mean, I agree with you. I think the music was great as well. I think it was used well. I'll be honest, I don't fully remember the nuances of it because I think you've seen it much more recently than I have.
I watched it like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I watched it like a few days ago. So it was kind of, I think you watched it yesterday. So I don't fully remember, but I saw people like having discourse about that, saying the music is really good. For me, we should probably just get this out of the way now because we're gonna have to talk about it. It felt great to have a returning villain again.
Oh,
it felt great, and I get that this new era really wants to do like individual like episodes of like just stuff that we haven't seen before, and I respect the heck out of that, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
But it was great to have back the
Some
midnight.
familiarity,
So basically the person who came back, the thing that came back was the midnight entity, and that was like a thing that like. Confused. I didn't know if it was going to be the midnight entity.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's either going to be the midnight entity
or the
Vashnarada.
Or the silence.
And then a lot of people said maybe the weeping angels. But I was like, I think it was either between those two. And I was throughout the episode going, okay, they're going to mention something from one or the other.
Yeah.
And essentially, it was the midnight entity. And it felt awesome. That moment was like,
yeah, because like during the episode, there was a moment where it does the like the knock, or like there's like from the midnight episode, there's some music cues in this.
Well, there you go. I didn't realize that, but I think I love seeing. I just like, it's back, and it felt great. And I get it, like you got to make your own mark, but bring in some nostalgia,
and change it. Like what I really liked about this one is that they didn't go for the same thing. And yes, I do have complaints.
I'll touch on that. Yeah,
but like I think it was a well enough deserved idea to bring it back.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like, we're running out of ideas, let's bring back the midnight entity. It felt like, no, this is like a cool concept.
No,
and
100%.
like it completely breaks any expectation because the trailers, there's no diamonds on the planet. And then the slow reveal of it being the midnight planet was so good. I was on the edge of my seat when it felt very much like David Tennant, like finding out about something, like asking Donna about Rose, like what did she say? What did she say? It felt very much like, what was the planet like? What was it before that? And it was like diamonds, and it was called Midnight, and then like it felt very much like the Doctor trying to get like the bad wolf out of Donna. Like,
no,
it felt
100%.
very much like
and that was an awesome moment,
building,
and I do like the flashback. I do like how it cuts back to David Tennant just sobbing, and and it was just really cool to have that back. And I agree with you. I think the fact that they didn't do the traditional direction was great because I wouldn't want them to go traditional. Of course, I like to see some of the stuff that made the monster iconic come back, but I liked how you didn't fully see the monster. You saw little head movements. That was creepy. I love that.
Later on, it does show a bit too much.
Yeah,
but like that, just
fully...
the head was perfect. That was just enough.
Even the entity, like I know, like some people screenshot and say, "Oh, I can see teeth there."
Yeah,
but I was like, I didn't see it.
I didn't see anything.
It's if you pause it and really look into it. Yeah, but they still didn't like
when
show
you're
you so
watching
much of
the
it.
episode.
You
do not see it.
And I think they perfectly balanced of we're giving you more of this, and you deserve to see a little bit more of because if you do once again nothing's there, and they're all just acting crazy, then it's like it doesn't feel as good. And look, it's very nerve-wracking because like Midnight was an episode because it came out of being a bottle episode. It came out of being like we have no money.
Yeah,
we've got to just do a random plotline where we don't really have a monster and it's mainly just actors.
Yeah,
and like it's crazy that even works. So doing a sequel to that was a bit dangerous. Like how are you gonna make that happen twice?
Yeah,
but I do like how they gave us more, and it's great to see more like abilities of what the Midnight Entity does
because it definitely made it feel like it learnt from the 400,000 years it was in hiding. Because like it very felt like the Doctor even says like Hit was playing and it was like laughing and like it was having a laugh, when he did the mocking thing. Because that's such a childish thing to do, is to mock someone or is to talk at the same time as them. So it very much felt like this is like a trickster, not a trickster god, but like a real god who loves to just mess with you and then kind of just like have a little laugh at you. And because they even say it when it came from the whale, it was laughing, So like, it's cool. And I do like the little, because it definitely it's kind of weird that I kind of see the Midnight Entity as the Doctor's biggest foe.
Okay.
Which is weird to say because the Doctor didn't defeat the Midnight Entity. It was that woman who opened the door.
Yeah.
The Doctor would have died.
Yeah.
In that episode.
Yeah.
There would have been no more Doctor Who if that woman didn't open the door.
And that's the wonderful thing about that episode. Is that, they used his biggest strength against him, his ability to talk himself out of a situation.
Yeah. So
but with the conservative Trump Patriots people. So that didn't work out.
Which I really loved that it brought back I was even talking about this. Like I want an episode where the Doctor can't talk his way out of it, even though he kind of did in this episode. But like that episode,
because it was a different kind of situation, I guess. But even then in this episode, he didn't get a lot of.
No.
There were some people who were like,
he failed.
Oh, fudge you.
Yeah.
And
he like, I like how he like fails in this, and then it's up to other people to help solve those issues. Well, the Midnight Entity had a more feminine voice.
Yeah, I guess there was a voice to this as well.
It was
so
like
I felt a bit like, ooh.
I did not like hearing the whispers. I really wish there was no whispers. I think that would have been even creepier.
Or just like...
Just have the Doctor go like... just even a tone.
Like yeah, we'll get to that because there are a few things about the Midnight Entity that wasn't perfect in my eyes, which I'll get to. And look, it doesn't have to be perfect.
It's little nitpicks.
But I got some nitpicks.
But
I agree. It just felt great to have a returning villain. It just felt really lovely. And
Because what Doctor Who does best is taking ideas that they've done and branching them into new concepts. Yeah. Like having the Daleks in a Groundhog Day episode, or like having the Cybermen in a different dimension, or having the Weeping Angels like become an image of the Weeping Angel, like concepts that we've seen before, but changing them. So
I got a little bit heated because I saw on Instagram, it was like someone said like, oh, this is how you bring back a villain, not like how in Flesh and Stone and Time of Angels when the angels came back in that Matt Smith two-parter. I was like, screw you. They made a good point where like because their view was like, oh, the Weeping Angels kind of got ruined when you saw them move and tip their head. Yeah, I get that, but I'm like, no, that was a great 2 episodes.
Yeah, it was a great 2 episodes. That's the only negative I have about the Weeping Angels in that episode is that we see them move.
Yeah, but even
which is the same thing I have with the Midnight Entity.
But I think like if you just go, if you don't care about it too much, then it's fine. But so I will say, so it was great to see a returning villain, 100%. I'm happy to move on with another one, or if you want to, I don't mind.
I didn't really have time to write.
That's good.
Notes.
How about I'll say mine and you jump off, and then at the end, if you got some more stuff to say it. I think the performances from everyone was really great throughout, especially the person playing Alison or Alice. She was amazing. She was so powerful in that. She felt,
she felt genuinely scared.
I cared about her. I cared about her getting back to her kid. And I loved her character as well. I love how, she was standoffish, and she made sense as a character. She made sense of like why she can't hear.
Yeah,
I really liked that. Yeah,
I love that because like, and I loved how like inclusive they made the future, and like how like everyone just has like, why wouldn't you just have a translator on your chest? They probably use it for like alien translation. If they want to talk to an alien, it probably can translate alien speech and show the dialogue. So they just like, oh, someone is hard of hearing. You just do that. Like it's not because like I bet people will be like, Doctor Who going woke having a deaf person, but like it's not political
Yeah.
to be like,
This is
this
so-
person can't hear.
And it makes
Let's
so
make
sense
a
in the
device.
plot. Like you can maybe nitpick other things, go, oh, this
Yeah.
is put in, but like this made sense,
Yeah.
and
And,
it
yeah.
wasn't like
Because I was hoping
Yeah.
that would be a thing, that it's infected of like she can't hear, so it can't manipulate her.
Yeah.
I was like, that's such a good twist. And also it made for such good tension of the
Yeah.
showing, like you can speak to someone and it shows up on their chest.
yeah,
Like that came in handy 2 times in this episode.
yeah.
And that's like
And
you can't do that if you don't have
And I also
that character.
and I also just loved the whole kind of theme about like, because the whole thing about this with the Midnight Energy is like, don't turn your back, like she
Yeah.
can't turn her back, but like the whole theme about like the Doctor turning her
Back
back
on-
on
yeah.
her because he can't,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to tell. This whole thing about like, please don't turn your back on me,
Yeah.
have that like double meaning. It's
Yeah.
like, first of all, don't turn your back on me because I need to be safe, but also I need to hear what you say. Like, don't turn your back on me. And I think there's some really great stuff with the
It's
Doctor,
using-
and it's like,
It's using a person's like life to create a story, which is what stories is. Like every story, even if you don't think it has a political message, it does, but not a political message, but a message. Every movie has a message. This one is not necessarily a message, but it's just like, this character is hard of hearing. And I'm sorry. Yeah, it's really nice to have characters that show different parts of humanity and are able to be in these stories and add unique narratives. So
yeah, I agree. We'll speed through some of the other positives now. I think, I love the setting. I think we talked about that. The setting's great. The effects are great. I love the outer shot of them like on the planet.
yeah,
That's a real place.
yeah,
That's actually like, maybe they've added some stuff to it, but it's like a real place. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I like the way the Midnight Energy looked and stuff like that. But yeah, great performances throughout. I think everyone did really well. And on that, I'm loving Belinda with the Doctor. I know I say that every episode.
yeah.
But now
It really feels like they're a team.
They're a team
know?
now, and I think Belinda was like less big in this episode than she was in the other two.
Yeah.
But I think they both had great chemistry. I love the opening scene with them in the TARDIS together. I'll get to nitpicks, but like
She loves
still,
guilt tripping.
what?
She loves guilt tripping the Doctor.
Yeah, but
No, it's
that's
necessary. I know.
I'm sure a lot of people will be like, "Oh, we need more of it."
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who are like, "Oh, she always needs to go home." Like a lot of people are like, "I hate how quick she goes to the adventures. Like she should always think by, I want to go home." It's like, yeah, but you're not
that would be a
Doctor
really
Who.
boring story
You're
of
not gonna
like
get Doctor
every
Who.
episode she's like, I want to go home. Oh,
And
right, a mystery.
And I think like,
Yeah.
she should still want to go home, but it's like a thing where you
You
can't.
get caught up in
I
it.
think she's now understanding that they need to do the
Yeah.
Vindicator stuff. So
Yeah.
I get that.
Also,
I get that.
they're told specifically that they have to wait 5 hours.
Yeah. So it's like
what is she going to do? Doctor, I want to go home.
yeah, but I like that chemistry, especially in that scene where they're going like, "Oh, I'm higher than
Yeah.
whoever's in charge of you," and they're both
Yeah.
just making stuff up and testing them. Like it's a
Yeah.
thing that's been done before in Doctor Who,
Yeah.
but it felt
nice.
good in this. And I really like them as a pair. I think they're solid. I'll get to the nitpicks. It's just a nitpick. We're like, come on, you can't just keep on doing like that. They go into one room and they get dressed and they come out of the other room, like
Yeah,
the door.
the second
I
time
want
in
to
a
see
row.
the TARDIS. I want to see the dressing room. I get it. It's
Yeah.
the same time, and it's not. We don't want to spend a whole scene of them getting dressed.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, I want it. Every time I get edged, like I go like, oh, maybe I'm gonna see the other rooms because it's a really cool looking.
We've never
TARDIS.
seen the swimming pool
No,
next to the
no.
library.
People hate on Journey to the Center of the TARDIS, but at least we got some TARDIS stuff. That being said, it's mostly just corridors, but still, give me more TARDIS. I've said this before. If I ever show ran a season, it'll probably all be set in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's just TARDIS shenanigans going on. But basically, yeah. So I liked them. It felt like a tight episode as well. I felt like the pacing was mostly great. We'll get to any nitpicks. I have a couple of nitpicks. I will say I found it a really satisfying death of the constable character who was like, you go behind him and test the theory, and then the leader or the general or whatever her name was go, okay, I'm just gonna kill you right now.
Yeah.
That
was such a good
satisfying.
hard quote.
That was
good
like
hard thing.
that was like drama. That's drama right there. Like her making a decision that's like maybe maybe not questionable, but it's like you got to do it. It's like the split decision. So that was satisfying. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have too many other positives that like they're big broad positives. Overall, it's really great.
Yeah.
I'm happy to move on to negatives unless you have anything else to say. But I think the negatives for me they're shorter. They're much shorter.
Yeah, I think you can start.
Yeah, I'll start with the negatives.
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned how I don't love how they immediately go into the close, but oh yeah. So a bunch of these are kind of nitpicks. I'll start off with some nitpicks, and then I'll go into like the big overarching issue I have with this episode. So, one nitpick is I find it kind of hard to believe that they went into a dressing room and then came out of the dressing room with the exact same clothes that was needed for that mission.
Did the TARDIS just go like, here we go.
Here's what it is.
But they needed that so they could fall with them.
I know.
It was kind of
I can be fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a nitpick where I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't do a thing where like they
why
peek
did they
outside
pick
and
that
then
scene?
they go, okay, let's go and get dressed. But that being said, it's like that might ruin the flow of the episode. Look, it's not massive.
Yeah,
no
who
massive
cares?
problem. Okay, I'll go with the big. I'll go with the big issue. I feel like the rules of Midnight is a bit flimsy. The rules of the creature to me felt a little bit too flimsy, and not completely, but there were moments where it kind of took it out for me. So basically, the Midnight Entity, the new thing that's been,
the new
thing that's
trick
been
he's
said
doing
is that basically once you go like hit the 12 o'clock on the clock, if you go directly behind midnight, if you're directly behind midnight, you
and
get
someone's
flagged.
looking. Does someone have to be looking?
No, it's just directly
Okay.
behind midnight because there's a whole scene where Alice is just moving around and getting people at the back. Where if you go directly behind, you get thrown.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times in the episode where Allison she did like a full 360. She was like, "Look, there's nothing behind me."
I think the
And
thing
nothing
is someone
happened.
has to be looking. Direct. That's why.
I don't think it's just kind of like you go directly.
Remember
behind.
when she got the guy to turn around and she moved in front of the guy, the woman, to make him fling. He was directly behind and then made her look. So I think it has to be one person has to be at the end and the other person at the other
you're still
end.
gonna see, like, it's not like you gotta slowly walk over and then you'll see. You should still see it if the back is there. Like you should be able to see it.
No, I don't think the Midnight Entity you actually can
But
see
that's-
it. It's choosing for you to see it.
But the thing is, for me, it wasn't very clear that was how it worked, and that's my issue with it.
Well, when
is that-
because she turned around and they've looked around her back.
And like,
it was only
that's not the only moment. There were plenty other moments in the episode where they did do a full 360 around her and nothing happened. And there's moments where she's running to a room and they are directly behind, or the doctor's doing a thing where nothing happened, and it just felt. To me, it felt that bit flimsy because that's the new thing that's been established. They didn't. I don't remember in the episode, and I've watched other videos where everyone brought up the same thing. And I'm not giving a super original critique here.
Right.
I kind of realized this critique when everyone else was saying it because it is a thing where it's like, well, I knew there was critique when I was watching it, but it was like they never established that as like a major rule. I might be wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong.
About
Like you need to be directly. Yeah, there's a thing about like you looking over and then you seeing it, but the action of like you're at the 12 o'clock point and that's what kills you. They didn't go, and also.
Well, no, Melinda does. Melinda does. She puts the cogs down and goes like, "She's here.
Yeah.
She's there. You have to be here."
Yeah, but she didn't say you have to be. Like,
No, yeah, she does.
looking.
She goes, "You have to be looking." She's like, "We're facing this direction." That
No,
person,
yeah. Of course, you got to look at the back. 100%.
No, not the back. The person in the front.
I know what you're saying. They all look like the audience are looking at her.
Yeah.
And the person in order to be attacked has to go behind Allison and look at Allison's back. That's what gets you, right?
I thought someone at the front has to be exactly at the front.
I think that's just showing that's where we are, and this is what happens to you. There was nothing about being directly at the front.
I thought that was what Belinda said.
No, she said, "This is where we are. This is her. If you move around this way, this happens to you." Like that. The point is, it wasn't clear if that's what it is.
I think you have to actively walk behind her back. She can't just show it.
This is stuff that we're speculating, but it's an issue for a lot of people. Like it's not like I think it was an issue when I'm watching it for me. You can totally say
I did not have an issue with that. No.
Great, cool.
Yeah.
But for me, it definitely was an issue.
Yeah, to me,
it wasn't an issue that made me go, I hate this episode, and it's a massive thing. It's going towards an nitpick. But that being said, it's your one structural rule.
Because the thing was, the reason why everyone was dying when she was turning around was because the guy who was freaking out was in front of her. Because she was looking at the guy. Yes, 100%. This is why everyone was dying. Okay, so she was in the center. She was looking at. So this is me. Alice or whatever. You're the guy, the crazy guy who takes over. The reason why everyone was dying is because she was directly looking at him the whole time, and everyone exactly behind her were dying because the guy was in front.
So you're saying that in order for that to happen, there has to also be someone in front looking at Allison or looking at whoever.
Yes.
There's been so many moments even before they arrived. Like before they arrived, there was people with broken bodies. Presumably that happened to them. They couldn't have in every situation one person in front and one person behind.
Yeah,
that just
narrow corridors, and some of them were just
shot. I know,
shot
but that's such like
just killed.
To me, that was never established in the episode. That there has to be someone in front.
To me, it was.
But okay,
yeah,
I can't. Let's go back and find it because I would love to be proven wrong because that means I'll have hardly any issues.
Yeah,
but
to me, I guess I thought that was just
then that must have been a massive communication problem that everyone had a big.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And no, you don't. Like I don't know if you're wrong.
I don't know.
Because if
that's what I got from the episode.
You saw it much more recently than me. So if that's I'm not. Yeah. That's what you got. Awesome. And I'm not trying to be one of those people like, well, everyone else agreed.
No,
I don't mean that. No. I realized that. Oh, I think this could actually be a problem because other people were thinking the same thing.
Yeah, when I was watching the episode, that in my head those were the rules.
Awesome. So, but to me, when I watched it. To me, the rule that was established is that you have to go directly behind at the 12 o'clock angle, the midnight angle.
Yeah.
And then you did. I don't remember them saying, oh, and someone also has to be in front of the person who's being possessed. That I don't remember that at all. Okay. You must have. I would love to see it. And I think after this, we're going to have to look at it and see. Because I would love to be proven
I don't know.
In the comments, you will see if I'm right or wrong.
I don't know if I just made that up or that was established. Because in my brain, that's just how it was. That's why I was so confused about your nitpick, not your nitpick, but your negative, because I was like, no, that's not how that worked. Because in my brain, that's just how that worked.
So. Sure. But to me, I'm okay to be proven wrong. They just established that you have to be at the 12-degree angle to see it and die. And I feel like it's to me, that was an issue where, like, it's not a massive thing. I like that as a mechanic.
Yeah.
I just think if that's your mechanic, presuming that's the mechanic, not the person who needs to be at the front, I got a little bit like, oh, but there's so many moments where she's behind, like she's showing her back to someone who's at the front. Like it seemed like a bit flimsy. Like it seems like in certain moments, maybe it's the thing with the midnight entity chooses when to kill. That could totally make sense.
But the midnight entity chooses to hurt himself.
Sorry?
The midnight entity chooses to hurt himself.
Say again? Sorry.
The midnight entity chooses to hurt himself. That means if it is a choice when the mercury comes down.
Yes.
So like it has to be a thing that just happens.
Yeah. So, but in my brain, it was just like if someone's directly behind, because the point is like they were going, oh, when the mercury comes down, there's something now behind the midnight entity. Yeah. So that made it more clear. Oh, that must be because then who's in? Yeah, I know. Anyway,
the doctor is right there.
I know, but I feel like there's so much more logic as well that someone always has to be at the front, and to me that like if that was even the logic, my brain would also be like. Oh, but like I know it could happen in the past where there's corridors and there's two people in front, but my brain is like that doesn't fully work as like to me. I was like I can't agree that at every moment there's always three people and then someone dies and there's three people. Yeah. My brain's like that doesn't fully work for me. That might be the case. I'm not saying it's not the case, but to my brain it's like that doesn't even work for me as an idea.
A lot of the stuff was a lot of these people died because of that, but a lot of them were just shot and killed to pass the thing on.
It was 50-50. Yeah. So 50 people had their bones fully broken and 50 people were
just killing each other. Because there were two people just fighting in the background. So,
But I'm not trying to... Look, I can't... We're going to see. We're going to see. But to me, that was the one thing that I was like, if that's your new rules for midnight, I felt like there was moments where it's a bit flimsy because I didn't... There were moments where that... And to me, that's... Let me get this clear. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Like I don't care. But I'm just saying it because I know that's an issue.
Yeah.
If that's the way
if it is an issue, then I 100% agree. It's just in my brain, that's not how it worked. So that was not a thing.
And let's check it out. But I didn't, because the part of me was like, this could be just a nitpick, but I saw enough people online and like on like Who Culture, which is like a Doctor Who YouTube channel, mentioned how this was like kind of a negative. I was like, oh, then this must be true. I must have not been crazy. But I think this was a weird thing because a lot of people were agreeing. But I would love for us to go back and check. Hello. So this is Leo from the future.
This is Louis from the future.
We just looked at the clip. Not clip. We looked at the episode. Turns out, I'm Ron.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in front, you do cause
the person behind.
Yeah. So it's like because I totally forgot about. Because I mentioned it's a positive. Oh, it's great that one person, the general or whatever, killed that like really mean
soldier,
commander or whatever his name is. And I forgot. Oh, the reason how she did that was stepping
in front of
in line.
Yeah.
So no. So if anyone's got a problem with that online, you're wrong. So
You're wrong.
culture, fix that negative because that's not a negative. You've actually just
they
got
don't
that
explain
wrong.
it extremely well, but in the practice of the episode, the reason why
it's
all of those people die.
It's not
is
explained really well, but that is it's actually true. So that does make me think about when those other people were being killed, like in the other. In the before
it's a bit harder
crew
to believe.
before like how do they all it's kind of a weird thing where maybe the minute and they just
but that's
them.
off screen.
Who cares anyway point is
cool.
Enjoy the rest of the video.
Sorry.
I just realized we just watched it and I'm wrong. There you go.
Louis is always right.
Well do you want to go? I'm happy to continue.
I think one of the negatives I had was it took a bit too long for the reveal of what exactly was happening, because I think they could have played around with that more, because in the original Midnight episode the concept was that it was a mimic, so that happened from like the beginning and there was a build. For this one it was the mystery of finding out what happened to these people and then seeing behind her, and then halfway through we get the explanation, but then we only have like 15 minutes of really getting to play with you die at midnight idea. So I think that because the mimicking stuff is so like a long drawn out thing that can jump around, but the being possessed and it only goes if you kill the person and you have to go behind, there's not much you can really play around with that other than once you know the rules, those are the rules. And the only way for that to happen is if one guy goes a bit, crazy and goes and, so I think, yes, I do think it's a great concept for a sequel of Midnight, but I think Midnight just had its own benefit of what was happening that was conducive to a longer lasting story. But this one, it felt like they had to make the mystery go on for so long because you can only do so much with, you go behind her with someone in front, you die. Like I think I just would have been really kind of cool if the Doctor had a bit more brainstorming he was able to do. And something like that.
I agree. I think I was kind of hoping more from Midnight, still continuing on to Midnight. Like I get it that we got this not new powers, but there's a new kind of thing with Midnight. I was hoping more of I want to see some of the possession stuff. I want to see, and I get it that as you said before, we don't want to do a direct mimic of that episode. We don't want to direct kind of copy, but it's like what made Midnight so special was it gets inside you somehow and it manipulates things, and that's what Midnight was, a mimic who was trying to mimic human things, and now it kind of felt like while it is Midnight by name, it wasn't distinctively Midnight.
The Midnight entity.
It could have been really any creature. It wasn't full on and I don't hate that this is Midnight. I think I would still accept this is the Midnight entity.
It kind of feels like he was changing the lore a bit.
But I was I've seen the behind the scenes of this.
Yeah.
This episode was written before even deciding it was going to be a Midnight sequel. It was a thing where they literally was like, this episode isn't working. What if we made it a Midnight sequel? So they had their own kind of idea and they kind of just jumped in, okay, we're going to add this and make this a Midnight sequel.
Yeah.
So it was a thing where I can kind of tell that now that I know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that going in. And it's fine going in. I still can accept this as a Midnight sequel, and I still think it's a good Midnight sequel. But it does also feel like they've just added their own thing, but they happen to make it a Midnight sequel.
And now they have the Midnight guy just vibing out. He's escaped.
Well, yeah. Well,
or they've escaped.
Did the Midnight?
Yes.
Now, so that's another positive. I like that ending where it's we don't know, because how? Because it got attached on and well, technically they
could
have jumped.
Yeah, they escaped because it can survive in vaporizing weather. In the Midnight Planet, no one can go outside and it can survive in there.
Yeah.
So like it's not going to die. It's just going to go away.
Yeah. So it's like, I like that ending because it was like, is it still out there? Is it not still out there? Because I'm not going to say it's a yes because like we didn't see anything.
As soon as it started lingering on that, I was like, what?
Oh, because I think the soldier's like still going to be intense. Soldier may have even just made that up. But
the post-credit scene of her going, nothing.
But anyway, I think, big part of this is I wish we had more of like Midnight specific stuff because it did feel like it could be any creature.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure in the original Midnight episode, doesn't he say like it's learning, right? It's just like, it's a newfound
mimicking
creature. But in this one, it was like, oh, it's now just like, it's a games creature.
Yeah.
Which I don't like that because it kind of just feels like a god. They kind of made into one of the gods where it's like, it's the games god and he likes playing games. No, I kind of like how it's just in a learning creature.
Yeah, and I really feel like this could have been a two-parter because I feel like what we got out of this episode was like, once again, this is every complaint with Doctor Who, but maybe this is just because my nostalgia brain thought more stuff happened.
Yeah.
But it was like a thing where like, they went into a room, stuff happened in the room, and then they left the room and they got out. Like there wasn't a thing where they could have done dynamics of people in different rooms searching for things and the midnight entity taking over and doing whatever. But it was just kind of like one thing happened.
Also, like, why did the midnight entity? The midnight entity is only called the midnight entity because it was on the planet Midnight and it was an entity.
Yeah,
it's not actually a midnight entity. So why did it follow the rules of a clock?
I don't know.
You know, it's
Midnight,
like
it did feel kind of like, oh, but that being said,
I
don't care.
Exactly.
It was
I
still good.
don't care, but I can ask the question.
Yeah, it's like,
what you doing there?
So
guy?
you're midnight, okay.
Yeah.
But it did feel like okay, these are rules we're adding, even though it didn't feel like the creature that it was before. Which is kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
But I think that's coming towards the end.
The best thing about this episode, it doesn't detract from the first one.
Yeah. That's a big thing being scared of. It's like, could it have? Not really. But also, final thing, still don't care about Mrs. Flood.
No, I honestly could not.
I don't care.
She's pretty much just doing the exact same thing. This season is just season one all over again, but just better.
I know.
It's just like the exact same stuff. You see an older lady around, you know, like, oh.
And it's just, because here's the thing, I know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Like, I think most of us know where this is going to go, is that she hasn't done anything significantly bad, but she's menacing. So RTD is like, oh, she's a villain, right? And the end is going to be like, oh, no, she's a good character.
Yeah.
We know she's a good, at least me, I'm like, I know she's a good character because she hasn't done anything, because I've been begging for her to do something evil for me to think she's a threat. But the fact that you haven't this far into her storyline done anything evil with her makes you think, okay, she's obviously not a villain. She's going to be another twist, just like Ruby Road, where she's actually good. And we have been misthinking. We've been getting it wrong the entire time.
I do not
It's
care.
so going to happen. And I'm going to be like, great, you got me.
I literally, if they cut her out of every episode, I would not care.
I don't care. I do like how she's following the plot. Like, I like how she's like, oh, the Vindicator. Now I know how that works. Or something like that. Like, oh, cool. Maybe she's going to do something. But it's like, she's such a nothing. There's nothing she's doing. She's just there.
Yeah.
And she's probably going to be the god of TV or the god of something.
She's
breaking the fourth wall.
She's literally just the woman from season one, but more self
with a personality.
Yeah, with a personality and more self-aware. Because I'm like, it's going to reveal at the end when she's going around.
She's the god of storytelling, probably.
It's like,
it's just going to be like,
we've already done this. We've already had a woman around time.
I don't know.
We don't need to do it again.
Because like, I don't hate Mrs. Flood. She's a cool. I like the actress.
Yeah,
she's got a great personality.
Yeah.
But it's like you haven't done anything with her other than her just popping up, and it's not good enough. Like at least with the other one, she was like a evil robot person who was trying to kill people, like the ambulance and boom.
Yeah.
And she was like actually doing stuff with the plot.
Yeah.
This is just that she just pops up, makes a comment at the end, just like the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that could be cool, but it's not. She doesn't do anything cool enough to make her interesting. So it's just like, I know what you're gonna do. You're trying to say she's a villain,
the final episode,
but I know she's not a villain.
Unless the final episode is like actually Mrs. Flood like writing the script and the Doctor trying to fight against her, trying to mold the reality around him. And he's like, no, stop. Like, and you know, she's like writing like the Doctor does this, and he's like a wall and appears from the Doctor, and he's like, oh, you know, like if there's something not epic about her reveal.
Yeah. Look, maybe she will be a villain. I don't know. I'm just like,
I do not care.
Anyway, I don't care too much about Mrs. Flood, but I want to care.
Mrs. Flood, more like Mrs. Flushed away.
Hey, yo. But I don't want to not care about her. I just do make her interesting. She's not interesting.
I forgot she had to be in this episode.
She has to be in everyone.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, right. I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for me.
That's
you got
it
anything
for
else to
me.
say? I'm happy to give a rating.
Nah.
So here's the thing.
We started out friends, and it was.
So I guess I'm giving this an S because.
I'm giving it an A.
Yeah, here's the thing though.
Yes.
It's better than the last one, and I
yes.
gave that one an A.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'm still gonna give it an S.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna move down my other rating.
Lux.
Lux. It's not an A. It's a B.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Because it's not. I much prefer this episode than that one, and I feel I might put. I'll put this on S now. It might go down to A depending on what comes on next. Because we want to do a final video once the season's done and just go do a final ranking of things. But I just I'll put this on S for now. I'm moving down Lux to B because. I have a lot more issues with Lux than a lot of people.
I've rewatched it.
I've kind of accepted everyone says it's the greatest episode, so it's going to be an A.
No, this is an A, B, and C. Next one has to be S for me in my ratings.
Episode 4, will you be S?
I saw like an image of Ruby with a massive like skeleton fish, and I was like, "What the frick is that?"
Well, the next one is Lucky Day. Excited.
She doesn't have bad luck anymore.
I'm excited for this one. I'm excited to see Ruby again. I liked Ruby as a character. Obviously, I kind of forgotten that she exists. I'm not gonna lie. But she's a joy when she's on the screen.
Joy to the world.
Joy to the. Just imagine the image of the woman just flying up and become the star.
I'm
cursed.
Jesus.
No, I'm actually excited to see Ruby.
Yeah,
I actually am excited to see Ruby, and I'm excited to. Apparently, this is gonna have a lot of flashbacks to stuff we didn't see in season 1.
Like if you turn around, you see Amanda from Saw 6, and she's pregnant. Oh no!
Look, that's it for
Ruby's
me.
gonna have a backwards cap, and then go, I'm a young Ruby.
Can you sign this?
You sign it.
But no, that's it. I'm done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay, well then that's it. Thank you for listening
You're
to
welcome.
the Who Herald.
The Who Herald.
We are gonna do some more episodes soon. I guarantee that's gonna be more than just reviews. We want to do some rankings. We want to do some other stuff. So stay tuned. No, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Subscribe.
Who wins? Who's next?
You decide. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have nothing more to say.
Nothing more to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ayo.